expression and design principles into traditional STEM subjects in order to foster innovation and critical thinking skills for our students. We strongly believe that STEAM is a necessity in the 21st century in order to help our students become the leaders of tomorrow and in order to help them be in the workspace in their future careers. So the whole approach is based on different approaches and methodologies, but some of them, let's start with the Lewin's experiential model, which is a continuous experiential model that explores how concrete experience, observation, and reflections, formation of abstract concepts and generalizations, and testing implications of concepts all can correlate and connect with each other. Or in simpler words, there is the three-stage experiential model, which is do, review, plan, review, do, plan, plan, do, and review. So in STEAM-based learning, there is the combination of both experiential models in order to promote problem-solving skills to our students throughout experiences that foster all of the 21st century skills. And I have included 7 bullet points. So STEAM can offer hands-on learning because our students develop all of their skills by actually doing the activities. And STEAM education emphasizes on experiential learning through experiments, projects, and designs. The whole approach fosters inquiry in the classroom, meaning that we need our students to wonder and question throughout the STEAM procedure, and all projects are hands-on activities that can help the learner to explore all senses to create and innovate throughout our English language lessons. So then we have creativity and innovation, and of course STEAM fosters creativity and innovation in our classroom, and a basic principle that we use is to develop learner autonomy, independency, and give voice and choice to the learner. So 21st century skills, STEAM education aims to develop 21st century skills, and they are a necessity in today's workforce. So in the 21st century skills, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and problem solving are included. And I would also like to add curiosity, because I think curiosity is extremely important for our students, and in order to thrive in a complex and technology-driven world. Of course, equity and inclusion, because when we engage students in hands-on and relevant learning experiences, STEAM education can create a bridge and promote diversity in education. So we all have seen students who have difficulties in learning, and in this way, all students have access to high-quality STEAM education, regardless their background and or their abilities. And then we also have research-based practices, because the whole STEAM approach is based on academic research and also presentation skills. And academic research supports the effectiveness of STEAM education in order to promote student engagement, motivation, and achievement. And of course, studies have shown that STEAM approaches can improve student outcomes in STEM subjects and foster a deeper understanding of complex concepts. So there is a global impact, and as the previous speaker has stated, in lots of countries there is the implementation of STEAM-based learning, and STEAM education addresses global challenges such as climate change, sustainable development, and technological innovation. I would also like to add environmental awareness, and by equipping our students with those skills and knowledge needed to tackle these complex issues, STEAM education can empower the next generation of innovators and change makers. And the last bullet point is professional development. So effective implementation of STEAM education requires ongoing professional development for educators. So we always need to have in our minds that we always need to to be trained in order to understand all of these new methods and approaches, interdisciplinary teaching, project-based learning, and integration of technology. And they can all help us effectively incorporate STEAM principles into our classrooms. So there is a major difference between STEAM and STEAM-based learning, and we need to have in mind STEAM awareness. So we shouldn't use STEAM as a way to have fun, and this is the case in my country, in Greece. They usually use STEAM at the end of their lesson just to have fun, but that's not STEAM-based learning. And we need to focus on STEAM-based learning in order to foster language learning, critical thinking, and communication in the classroom. Of course, it is the whole approach is student-centered and student-led, and that means that teachers are not actual teachers in the classroom. So we monitor, we observe, and we discuss among and with our students, and all ideas are welcome. And in fact, we need our students' ideas in order to move in the learning process. And of course, research and development. A STEAM activity can never be the same in different target groups. All of our students have different thinking processes, different ideas, and different opinions to share with us. And so we cannot have the same products with different target groups. And we may also have one, or we can also have 100 different learning outcomes and products depending on the way our students think. As Albert Einstein has said, imagination is more important than knowledge, and I couldn't agree more with that, because we need our students' imagination in order to promote learning in our classroom. So what we expect from our students, here you can see a sample from one of our classrooms in which we have created a STEAM wall in order to allow our students stand up and write down their predictions, their observations, their topics of interest, and their results. So we don't care about the product, we care about the procedure. It is very important to focus on the process and trust the process in order to create the final outcome, the final STEAM outcome. And an example could be that if they have to create a bridge, they need to focus on materials, they need to focus on their predictions, they need to focus on their observations, and they may need to create the bridge 10 times until it is successful. Because again, we need to have in mind that we need our students to test and retest and evaluate their products. We don't need expensive tools and materials. In fact, we could only use recycling material to create products and create outstanding products from materials that we can even imagine. And this is a good idea to help environmental awareness in our classrooms and to develop this type of thinking to our students. All answers are different. Each one of the students has his and her own voice, and all ideas are welcome. And our results, as I mentioned before, are different. So two groups cannot design the same product. So there are some further options in order to combine STEAM-based learning with these, by using these helpful, I think, tips. So we could create wonder walls, and wonder walls are a great educational tool we can use to start implementing inquiry in our classroom. So basically, we can ask students to think, explore, and find their topic of interest. And of course, we can use their ideas to start building our syllabus. So when you start your new academic year, you could basically ask students to come up with new projects and new ideas and topics, and develop those topics throughout the year. It's important to always do research and have good organization skills for your material, because we always need to have our students in mind. So we need to start thinking of ways to help our students improve their skills by providing them a holistic approach through STEAM-based learning. Classroom management is an important factor as well. So we cannot have a traditional type of classroom. We need to have open space, and we also need to have students around the table where they can collaborate, communicate, and discuss and create their projects. And of course, we always need to find resources, new resources, and new material that can help us and our learners. So finding activities is the most challenging thing in STEAM-based learning, and we always need to focus on materials that have been constructed and created under research. So what's behind STEAM? In science, of course, we always need to have experimentation and research. In the technology section, creation of tools and design. In the engineering part, material availability, design, and process. Arts is all about creativity and innovation, and we use mathematics in a different perspective, which I'm going to tell you in a bit. So when we implement science, we always start with prediction, hypothesis, and wonder questions, and our students collaborate. They move on with research, supplies, instructions, and steps. In technology, we imagine how we can work, how we can create a tool, and what we need. So there are two different paths that we can follow in the technology section. The first part is to use the technology as the process in order to create a tool rather than using technology in itself. But the other way of that we can use technology is to actually use technology by itself, by using Google Forms or presentation applications or artificial intelligence, AI. So we move on with research, gathering of supplies, instruction steps, and we continue with conversation, observation, and results. In the engineering section, we imagine how we can work, how we can create a tool, what we need to design, and our building plans. We always ask our students to create their building plans in order to connect everything, connect their thinking process and the supplies and material in order to create the final product. And we always have the research part in every step. So then we continue with conversation, observation, and results. And the arts, which is my favorite section. Arts is a huge opportunity to include in science learning and create a transformational change in the field. So we can create an aesthetically pleasing robot, and that's okay, completely fine, but that's not STEAM-based learning. We are missing there the opportunity to teach them differently. And we need to focus on the arts as the power of design, emotions, and problem solving. And also we need to see the arts as a way to explore different perspectives on STEM problems, scenarios, and subjects. And mathematics. Research of mathematics, we move on with research instructions and steps. we continue with conversation, observation, and results, and we tend to use a more realistic approach. And we observe the world around us on a different perspective. And having said that, I mean that we use mathematics as a way to explore symmetry and geometry, for example, geometry in pieces of art, and different concepts like this one. And all of these happen and occur because we use a holistic approach to STEAM education in order to teach the language and promote language learning through STEAM-based learning. Of course, everything is based on multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary teaching. Multidisciplinary teaching and learning happens when students across disciplines, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, work independently on different aspects of a project, or interdisciplinary structured teaching and learning built upon multidisciplinary teaching as the goal to unify two or more disciplines or to create a new discipline at the interface of other disciplines. And this is what we truly do. We connect all of the STEAM disciplines in order to find solutions to our problems on STEAM-based learning. So STEAM-based learning, as mentioned before, is based on experiential learning, project-based learning, multiple intelligences. So about experiential learning, learning is most effective when learners actively engage in experiences. So by having experienced different experiences in the classroom, our students can connect the knowledge they gain with the images and with the experiences, and they can consolidate everything better. Then we have project-based learning, PBL, which is a student-centered approach, where students work on extended projects that are about real-world challenges, situations, and questions. Multiple intelligences suggest that individuals possess different types of intelligence, including linguistic, logical, mathematical, spatial, musical, kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalistic intelligences. And of course, STEAM-based learning recognizes and accommodates diverse forms of intelligence. And in this way, we allow our students to leverage their strengths and interests across STEM and arts domains. And of course, STEAM is also based on CLIL, inquiry-based learning, and constructivism. So CLIL is a well-known and trusted method, and it basically focuses on the content. Now, the content could be text, could be images, could be videos, and of course, we promote learning throughout the content. And another element of CLIL is that we explore different subjects, for example, geometry, mathematics, science, geography, etc. And in this way, we produce learning language throughout different other subjects in order to make our students understand and connect everything better. Inquiry-based learning, as mentioned before, it is basically about promoting questions, about collaborating, about exploring different mind maps of our students, and we focus on the active involvement in the learning process throughout asking questions, investigating, and exploring topics. And the last one, constructivism, that posits that learners actively construct their understanding of the world through experiences and interactions. And of course, in STEAM-based learning, students engage in hands-on activities and projects, allowing them to construct their knowledge. So these are some of the steps we tend to use: predictions, creation, observation, and of course, there are different other stages that are within those 3 stages. And this is an example from our classroom. It was a castle, and that's the first reading of those images. But we started our lesson by introducing the learners to the new vocabulary. We also talked about the past, and we designed different building plans depending on their way of thinking and their critical thinking. And of course, we discussed everyone's ideas before starting our creation. And this activity can be also found on the Real STEAM, the new book by Express Publishing. So here I have included some elements of PBL and STEAM. We focus on open-ended questions and tasks. We include all the 21st century skills. We aim to have independence and inquiry. We provide real-life knowledge and authentic materials. STEAM and PBL both focus on the process. They allow students to own the problem and the solution, and that means that teachers need to be willing to teach outside of their content specialization. And of course, here I have also added what we mean by authentic materials. We can mean subjects that are about, topics that are about the real world, current issues, local, something related to your school, something that could be community-based, timely, for example, coronavirus crisis, and something that should be interesting for our students. And of course, inquiry reads. There are multiple solutions to our problems. There is always space for different learning types. There is not one correct answer, and products don't look the same. So here I have included some pictures from our lessons with examples. So these are the first thoughts that we can have when we look at those images. So this is just a birdhouse. This is just an eruption, an experiment. This is something about measuring, and this is, well, baking cookies. And we can understand what's this, to be honest. So let's see now what's the point behind those titles. Here, talking about the birdhouse, we also explored gravity, environmental awareness, birds' habits, and habitats. Here, we talked about chemical reactions that we can actually also do at home with simple supplies, and our students can understand how important it is to explore those things and get out of their comfort zone and actually experiment in their houses as well. Measuring different substances. This is the respiratory system and our body. And here, except for baking cookies, we talked about solar power and ways to use nature and, of course, again, environmental awareness. And the language items now, the learning objectives. So here we talked about different habitats, animal, and that was their vocabulary. We also explored grammar, present continuous in the English language. Here, the vocabulary was house objects and supplies, and of course, we always produce language throughout the experiment, throughout their predictions, their observations, and the results. And so they are exposed to a continuous language learning system. And grammar could be directions. Here, at this experiment, the vocabulary could be body parts, organ, illness, and grammar points could be present simple or present perfect if our focus was illnesses. And here, liquids and food, grammar, comparative, superlative to enough. And in the last one, nature, objects, and grammar could be past simple. And here I have also added a sample of the Real STEAM, a book that I've created with Express Publishing. And we aim to focus on STEAM-based learning and we have created all steps, detailed steps for our students. This is a book for students, and we always have a starting question at the beginning in order to question our students and actually motivate them to find ways to answer the question and find a solution to our problem. And the whole book has 5 different units on 5 different disciplines. And of course, we have also created long-term projects that are scenarios with problems, and they can last from a month to 2 months. So here you can see the steps. They wonder, they imagine, they need to find their supplies. They explore by doing the experiment and following the steps and adding steps on their own. They also observe and tell and share their thoughts with their partners on what they see. And they create and they again observe. And the observation stage, in my opinion, is the most important stage, because our students can connect all the information they have gathered and promote and find the output for the language learning. And there is also the evaluation that, and our students always need to evaluate and answer some questions. So this is the book. And that was my presentation. So